Should we buy or sell digital Realty Trust? First off, read this disclaimer carefully. And do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So here is their website, Digital Realty, delivering the world's largest data center platform. Yeah, this is in the data center business. It's a part of real estate. It's a very interesting subcategory of real estate. Here you can see, they are trusted and used by Amazon Web Services, Verizon, Adobe, LinkedIn, Google Cloud. So definitely some big names here in the industry. So we can find this under the megatrends, and I have a theme that I call, unsurprisingly, data centers. So it is right here, like that. There were other stocks here not that long ago, but they were delisted. Here you got some of the data. Digital Realty, REIT, so 30% from the 52-week low and minus 38% away from the highs. So here is the chart, weekly data points. So this one is messy because we have seen a very dramatic fall from the highs. We went all the way down to test here this support from 2016. Then we got a pretty big rally. Now we are consolidating a bit. We are still, however, below this very shortable purple 20-week moving average. It is just a very easy level here for the bears. But what is a bit intimidating to the bears is that the bulls are really eager to test that resistance again. Looking at the daily data points, the blue 100-day moving average is the go-to level here for the bears. And you see here how we are really consolidating. And on Friday, we don't have a breakout above this consolidation range, but we're sort of playing around with a breakout. So this is, yes, we are below a resistance level, but it's a bit dangerous now to be a bear. Looking at RSI here, we are at a previous fail level on the weeklies. That is true. On the dailies here, we do see that we went up here and got close to overbought. The previous time you saw that we just fell apart here. Also, you do have a bit of a more swift pullback. In this case, you see that we are pulling back, but you have almost this consolidation here on RSI, as accumulation distribution is showing some bullish divergence. So we do have an entry signal that is 20 weekly moving average resistance. I will give the bears a -5 here on the technicals, but the big caveat is the pressure here from the bulls. They don't seem intimidated by the resistance level. It's more of a dare to the bulls, and so that is definitively a bit of a caveat here. So let's have a look here at seasonality. So to the left here, you do see over the last 5 years in green, 7 years in blue, 10 years in red, the seasonality is very strong here into late January. You do see here to the right, over the last 5 years, November closes higher 60% of the time, December 40% of the time. You see here over the last 10 years, November closes higher 40%, December 60% of the time. I will give the bulls a 6 on the seasonality. Next, we will look at the fundamentals. So what I do now is that, so previously I used SACs and so basically I used different, and also used Finviz, Market Screener. But the issue with that kind of fundamental analysis is that it's not as tradable. What I do here is that I look at price to book ratio, price to sales, price to earnings, and also the dividend yield for the stock and look, at the history. I do think that is more informative and more tradable, because what we see here is that we are very low here historically, going all the way back here to 2013 for this stock. We usually don't have this low of a price book ratio. It's a support level on price book. Regarding price to sales, also very low. Price earnings at a support level. This usually attracts buyers who view this as value. Another thing is that you see here that the earnings, the dividend yield here that you get as an investor, it's been going up. That's also a nice thing to see. Let's look at the forecasts. So by the way, here you could see the yield. It is currently at a pretty healthy 4.39% yield, and that's good yield. It certainly fits in this real estate, well, REIT category. So you do have 19 analysts with a 1-year price forecast. The average price target is 11% above us. Highest is 57% above. Lowest is minus 21% below. So overall here, the analysts are feeling pretty bullish. I will give the bulls a whopping 8 here on the fundamentals. This looks pretty darn good. I used to look at insider activity before. The issue with insider activity is that the market reacts pretty quickly to that kind of those kind of transactions. So it's also one of those situations where it's interesting data, but it's not necessarily tradable data. At least, certainly not tradable if there is some time has passed since it became public. I think that these kinds of fundamental analysis that I just did, it is more, you can make a stronger case that it is tradable than the other stuff. And overall, fundamentals here look really good for digital realty. Now let's look at relative performance. There is a long-term 38% correlation here with the S&P 500. And there is a 43% correlation, so a bit stronger with the IER, which is the real estate ETF. Looking at the daily data points, short term, there is a 77% positive correlation with the S&P 500, 96% with the VPN, which is the digital, well, the data center, also digital real estate, I guess, ETF. And then you have 93% here with the real estate ETF IAR. So the strongest correlation we do get is with the VPN. So if you want diversified exposure to this, then VPN is interesting. So here is the chart. Let's do it like this. Okay. So that's an index. Here is the ETF. Yeah, the chart looks similar to what we saw here with the digital realty. Looking here at the daily data points. Yeah, we have this consolidation pattern here as well, about to challenge the blue 100-day moving average. Let's look here at, yeah, we are not at previous failure levels yet on weekly RSI. When we go here to the daily data points, we are a bit in dangerous-ish territory on daily RSI, and also the 20-day PPO in purple and 50-day PPO in green. Here is the relationship between digital realty and the data center ETF. Yeah, we've seen some solid underperformance here versus the ETF. We are at a low level historically, but we don't have that much historical data. But you could make a case that maybe there is some relative value. Let's look here at the seasonality between these two, like that, and we then get VPN. And make sure to pick the right one. We don't get any data here. As I only interpret the data here to the right if I do get data here from the seasonality forecaster. I'm looking at making my own indicators here in TradingView. That's one of the reasons why I went with the big boy subscription, because I have some very interesting ideas when it comes to making indicators. If you know PineScript, by the way, then send me a message. So yeah, I give the bulls a 2 here on relative performance. We end up with a 2.8 here in favor of the bulls. We are, however, at 20 weekly moving average resistance. That's the key technical event. But we do have the number one score here on the fundamentals, and it's in favor of the bulls. So definitively some interesting stuff here for digital realty. But the setup is messy given that we are below resistance. But when you do have a situation where other metrics are bullish, then the odds of a breakout is higher. So let's look at some of the components of the VPN ETF. The top component is actually called Equinix. Let's find it. It's on the Nasdaq, like that. Yeah, so strong rally approaching the green 50-week moving average, which is what is a support level back here from 2021 that became a resistance. Let's look here at the dailies. We have a breakout above the 200 daily moving average here for Equinix. So Equinix has pulled off the breakout, and it's the biggest component. It has also broken out above prior fail levels on RSI. So there is definitely some constructive action here. On the daily data points, yeah, we are a bit in danger territory on MACD and RSI and also some of these PPOs. So the odds of some kind of cool down is definitively here. So let's have a bit of a look here at let's look at the fundamentals quick like that. See whether it is overvalued or not. Yeah, it's not like extreme on price book. On price sales, it's a bit elevated, but not at like outright high levels. Price earnings, we definitively do not see the same kind of value setup that we had with the digital realty. The yield here is also way less than digital realty. So yeah, maybe let's just quickly here look at the seasonality for Equinix. So there usually is a bit more strength here into the end of the year, and then some pullback. Next on the list is American Tower Corporation. Yeah, AMT. Rally, some pullback, a bit of a messy chart on the weeklies. On the dailies, we do have that consolidation pattern, a bit of a cup and handle formation, frankly, afoot. That's interesting. You have a bit of a cup here. This potentially could become a handle. That's so interesting. Let's actually have a bit of a look here at the seasonality for the AMT, like that. Yeah, the seasonality here is it's decent. Okay, so let's look at the fundamentals here for the AMT, American Tower Corporation. Yeah, yes, there is some value here, and the yield also has seen a nice pickup recently. So we looked at digital realty and some of the top components of the data center ETF. All in all, I do think that uh, digital realty is an interesting bullish candidate, even though we are at a technical resistance level. Of all the subcategories in the real estate sector, this is definitively long term very interesting. Data centers, it's a big thing with like the metaverse and other initiatives to digitalize the world. I do think that the demand for data centers will go up pretty substantially for a longer term horizon. To see all the stuff under VIP access, you just go here to diamondarm.com. and have a great week ahead.